me, and I knew it probably would. I knew it probably was going to because I didn't get hit with them at all when we got the weather change and got with the weather being harder. So I knew it was going to hit me really hard whenever. So I got my fair share of allergies today with my co-host. This is episode 60. I honestly can't believe we've even made it this far, even though Felix has not been with me with all the episodes. It feels like he would have had or could have had all of that. Uh, Talking about the 60 episodes, I did have I'm not even going to talk about him, but I had a former co-host, but this co-host is 10, not even 10 times, probably 100 times better because he does the same things, but a whole lot better. So, and
Thank you. I appreciate that.
not to throw shade, but he's not a creep as well. So,
Hmm.
60, we're going to talk about, of course, SummerSlam. I've already done my review with SummerSlam, but we're still going to talk over it, and we're going to talk about the layers of Jay, Jimmy, and it actually makes, I hate to say it, these got one thing that is true is Roman did say at the press conference after WrestleMania, he said, "Hey, y'all are going to have to pay attention." He did say that, and if you've been paying attention, unlike most of us, but we got all these great people on Twitter making sure that we pay attention now because here's this clip, here's this clip. If you pay attention, it was
Seeds have been planted. Seeds were planted a long time ago, and we were completely oblivious.
yes. But with that being said, how are you today, Felix? I know better than me because this damn voice. Uh, whew,
Well, I don't have any allergies, so yeah. On that standpoint, good. Yeah. Overall, I'm pretty good. Just can't wait to go over SummerSlam because I actually really did enjoy the show, and can't wait to cover my Premier League predictions because the Premier League is back on this weekend. Football is finally back. I've been like without wrestling, like it's just been so boring without any footy on. So I can't wait for some Premier League action to be back on my TV. So yeah, overall, can't complain.
so this podcast, if I let him take the reins for most of this, it's rightfully so for this podcast. Honestly, um, so the first thing I want to talk about before we get into even SummerSlam and the news, our great little list that we've been doing from last week. So this week I got three lists, but one of them's very, very, very small, so not much to talk about there. So top 15 wrestlers with the most followers.
Well, John Cena.
Okay, and they don't have to be wrestling.
They don't have to be a wrestler. Okay.
He is number two with 14 million.
Okay. The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What number you think he is? He's not as high as you think.
No, I wouldn't imagine like his following is as high as like Cena and Rock and all that. I would say sure he's in top 10, but I wouldn't say like high in top 10. I'd say like low top 10. I'd say around 8 or something like that.
I feel like Batista's going to be there. I don't know if this list is right. How many followers does Batista have? Because I feel like he's not even on this list. Surprisingly, I know that's a spoiler, but man, this list might be wrong. I don't, because that's kind of unreal.
So what place is Stone Cold in?
9.
Yeah, so yeah, down in the late ones, yeah, that I predicted that quite correctly actually. Okay, so that's two. Let's see. Triple H,
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, you actually got 5. You counted wrong, but you got 5.
Oh, I got five. Oh. um, Shawn Michaels. Let's see.
they also
Trying
they also don't have to be with the company right now.
Yeah. Um, Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's six. Seth Rollins.
Right behind Stone Cold.
Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you're on a roll because you haven't named one that ain't on this list so far. I might have just
I'm,
jinxed you.
I'm just like just trying to think of like ones that I follow that I've seen high follower counts on. Um, hmm. Cody
Mm.
Rhodes? No. I thought his recent popularity would have propelled his social media numbers. Never mind. Um, I was going to say the Undertaker, but he only made his Twitter recently, so I highly doubt he would be up there by now, unless he has. Yeah, no. Um, Randy Orton.
Mm. Number 5.
Fucking hell! I didn't know he was that high up.
6.2 million.
Fair play, Randy. Um, so how many have I gotten so far? 9.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Wow, I am doing decently well. Um, Sasha Banks. She's pretty mainstream by now.
I wonder how many followers Sasha got because she ain't on this list.
Hmm.
You must have less than 3.2 million. I don't know if she does. I would think she'd have more than that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I, this list might not be like all the way accurate, but
Trying to think about the rest now.
I'm really surprised you haven't said this name. He probably, for me, he legit had the top 2 matches of SummerSlam. He's probably in the top 2 for me. I'm gonna check it off like you're about to say it. I hope you do, but
Finn Balor.
they had the
I
best match of the night for me. But and following in social media, they say it every time he comes out.
oh. Uh. Well. Yeah. He is a wrestler now, I suppose. Yeah. Logan Paul.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah. Where does he actually rank?
Number 4,
Damn.
6.8. Well, I mean, you got to realize he's had his YouTube forever, and he's been at like close to 24 million, 25.
Yeah,
So
true, true,
he's been big on forever. So
true that. So that's 10. I got 5 left. Ooh, jeez. Um, trying to think of someone maybe from AEW, but I think Jericho would probably be the only one from AEW that has that higher following. So yeah, no one else from there.
don't look at AEW.
Um, any of the 5 remaining still like wrestling current day?
I'm hesitant to say 3 because she's she's still on the roster, but technically might not be. So I'm gonna say 2, maybe 3.
Huh. So there's a she in there. Oh, Trish Stratus. No? Wow. That's a shocker.
I don't know. She might. I mean, this list might be a little bit wrong, but you'll understand why I said the third one is kind of iffy because I will say she did fight at SummerSlam.
Oh, Rhonda, of course.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you too much salt on that last one. Oh shoot! All right, so the last 4, 2 still wrestle and 2 does not. 2 female
Edge.
and 2 no.
Edge. Gotta be. What?
I don't know. I'm
No.
gonna have to look at the thing, but no, he ain't on it.
Now that is a shocker. Wow. I was so expecting Edge to be one of them.
This list is probably toast, but we've already made it this far, so.
Who are 2 wrestling nowadays that have bigger followers than Edge?
About this person that is wrestling, but if she was wrestling in today's age, and she isn't like too old. I'm not saying like she's an old, but if she was wrestling age, her her perfect just mashed all is. I mean, she could literally face off against most anybody, and it'd be very very good. She was one of
Fair
my
enough.
favorites. One of my favorites when wrestling.
Well, if Trish ain't one of them, then Lita probably ain't one.
Lita don't
Um,
really do social media that much.
no, that is true.
If you notice, I don't know what she's been doing, but she hasn't gotten back from that little beat that was like 4 months ago.
Yeah, noticed that. Um, trying to think. Charlotte? No.
Okay, so I get one in like the early 2010 and all that, and she was a trailblazer from just starting semi the revolution. Not all the not how those 2 women did, but she was like starter of trying to change it.
Hmm. AJ Lee?
Yes, yeah.
There we go. Got it.
That was the best way I could describe it. I was like, man, I hope.
Yeah, without actually giving it away. Yeah. I was just like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, yeah, AJ Lee. Okay, so I got 3 left. I feel like I'm gonna really struggle with these last 3.
And the fact that number 7 still now, I'll give you the benefit. You got number last two are 14 and 15, so that's a good thing. But you got mid
Yeah.
one at 4.7. So
Hmm.
long. So I mean, that's why he's got so much of a following.
I highly doubt AJ Styles is one.
I don't think he'd be considered on this list if they're WWE just because he's been everywhere. I think that's why some of these people are not on this list. Makes no sense.
Hmm.
I can tell you,
Hmm.
not from the states. He's not from the United States. That
Hmm.
that kind of way. I can't say much more.
Not from the States. William Regal?
Oh no, no, no,
No, I was gonna say.
no. Oh my gosh! Oh, you going to you?
Yeah, my mind's starting to blank. I'm like my mind's blanking hard now. I
Okay.
can't really.
Hey, I'll tell you. This is the last hint, and if you don't get this one with this guy, then I can't help you.
Lay it on me.
Had one of the best matches last year.
Oh, Sheamus! Of course, Sheamus.
I
I didn't
can't.
think he had that. I didn't think he had that many followers on Twitter. Or like social media in general. I really didn't think he had that many. Wow,
Yeah,
fair. Go on,
yeah. But
Sheamus.
you say Ronda, but yeah, Ronda is number 13. So you got 14 and 15 left, both at 3.2 million. What the female? She does not wrestle. She's not. She's always been with the company in some sort of way, but I can't say it much more. And the guy, I mean, he's been doing it for a good while, and I can't. But the guy is still wrestling, and boy, Monday night he had a great segment. I don't know if you watched Raw or not. I didn't, but
I didn't.
I watched clips.
Oh, I'm trying to think now. Shit.
Guy, because if I would give it away if I said any more with what I just said.
Who had a good segment on Raw? I'm trying to think now.
Had a great segment on Raw.
The Miz?
Yes.
Yeah, because he had a segment with LA Knight.
Why LA Knight was on Raw, I don't really give it, but you know, I'm here for more LA Knight. But and okay, this, I mean, she don't wrestle anymore. When she did, it was very rare, and she's been with the company for a long time, and that's all I can say. I can't.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Hey,
All right. So you got all 15.
got there in the end. Needed a few hints on some of them, but got there in the end.
All right, so we're going to talk about the news thing, and then we're going to do this list and talk about, and I'm going to get your reactions with SummerSlam. So, thank God the lawsuits need to keep on coming for Vince McMahon. I don't give a damn if he's recovering from surgery. I'm not saying that's a cover up, but a lot of people are issuing that as a cover up to trying to get out of the news and not be close with the company at this certain time. I don't know what you think about that, but I need these lawsuits to continue. I think this one, what is this? I think this lawsuit is coming in the expense of something with Alexa Bliss. I don't know. It don't make sense, but this person was supposed to get paid 70,000 a year, which I mean, for a company like that, might should be getting paid more. I don't know, but said that he got paid only 5,000, which is kind of insane. So I don't know, 70,000 to 5,000. Yeah, I think I'd be doing a lawsuit. I don't know how Alexa Bliss gets into this, but it had her name in this, which is kind of strange.
Very interesting. Yeah, curious how Alexa Bliss was involved in all this.
I don't know. But these lawsuits need to continue for Vince because that is the only way that Endeavor sees that and just cuts ties with Vince and say, "Hey, we can't." But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But the lawsuits got to keep on coming, and they got TV rights deals coming up too, so that's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. The more lawsuits come in, the hopefully the sooner we can get the old man out of here for good. Truly for good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Sonya Deville turned ACL. Now, I don't know if they would have done anything with the women's tag team titles, but I think they would. I think they could have had a good run with them because they're actually one of the legit tag teams in the division. Even though they were thrown together, it it was thrown together as a good tag team, and Gel's really good with Chelsea Green. So I don't know what they're doing with the women's tag team title belts, but something about someone might be tag teaming with Chelsea Green. I got one name in mind, and she ain't doing much, and she would easily go good with Chelsea, and that's Emma for me.
Emma? Yeah.
I like Emma, but they haven't done absolutely nothing with her, and I credit that to Vince coming back because Vince really when Vince was booking her for anything made her look stupid over here doing that stupid dancing bull crap. So I knew when Vince was involved with a lot of stuff, it was not going to be good. So
Yeah,
our
it sucks for Sonya. It sucks for Sonya, but one thing I will say about the women's tag team titles, those titles are cursed. Like, genuinely, they're cursed. Like, to be honest, if I'm Vince or Triple H or anybody, like, in creative, I'm getting rid of those titles. I'm just going to be quite frank. I honestly have the opinion, might be unpopular, might be popular, I don't know. It'll be unpopular for some people, maybe popular for others. But in my opinion, those titles shouldn't have even been made in the first place. Because when they were made, there was no real tag team roster to really put behind the titles and really elevate the titles to where it should be. And it's never been that way ever. We've just always had random people thrown together in tag teams that only last a few weeks, and then there'll be like one or two legitimate tag teams that holds the titles, but then something will always happen. Like I said, those titles are cursed. Like bad things happen whenever those titles are involved. Like just get rid of them. Honestly, they never get defended at pay per views anyway, due to how unimportant they are compared to other titles. And like, there's just no significance to them. If you have no real division for them, get rid of them. Like,
like
if anything, I'd rather a mid card women's title than a tag team women's title. Honestly, I
I think
would much rather that.
I think that makes more sense than anything. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't know why they haven't done that. Especially they're all about titles and everything. So
Welcome, Yusuf. Gable is the tribal chief.
Uh,
Not the tribal chief. Maybe they wanted to defeat Gunter. You never know.
yeah, that'll be for another time. I don't. We'll see. But all best to Sonya. I hope she recovers really good because I mean, I hate that for her. Even though those titles are cursed and they need to get rid of them. I mean, that kind of sucks that happened. Um. So I guess Brock's going to take a little absence. Now I'll say this: Brock has been very active this year. So like, I'm not even mad that he's going to take a good break here because he was scheduled originally for Payback, but that don't make no sense. And then it came out a day later that he's supposed to take like months off. Which, hey, go ahead, go back to Canada, enjoy your life there. Whatever the hell Brock's going to do. Hill Shinsuke is back. Yeah, it is. Yeah, he is.
Yep, yeah, he is.
I, now, now I don't know if it's a full heel turn. I think it's, hey, I haven't had a championship match in a while. What's the best way to do it?
Yeah, I don't think, for example, I don't think he's gonna go back to what heel Shinsuke was in the past when Vince was booking him. I think he's gonna keep some of the mannerisms that face Shinsuke has, like that stuff, but I feel like he's just gonna have a bit more of a mean streak about him, like a bit more aggression, which I love. Pretty much how Shinsuke was in New Japan in a way, because New Japan Shinsuke had all like the flashy stuff that Shinsuke's known for, but he had a mean streak in New Japan as well, like proper mean streak at times. So I feel like that's what he's going to bring to the table now with this new, I guess, attitude. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a full on heel turn, but definitely a bit of aggression involved. Maybe it is a full on heel turn. Who knows? Who knows where Triple H will be going with this? But in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, I think it's just a bit of a mean streak for Shinsuke, which I think is needed. So I quite like where it's going.
See, like if if you just see how Triple H books stuff and everything, I don't think he's winning the title either. But I, unless Triple H builds him up very incredible, which he's got a month to do, that would be tough to have him beat Seth for the title already. Now, I would love
Mm.
to see another run with Shinsuke as world champion because I think it would be the last run he would have as champion. But um,
Hell, Shinsuke has never won the world title, so it would be nice to see him
oh
finally
yeah,
win it.
uh,
But
no, that is right. I forgot. I forgot he's only won the NXT World Championship.
mm,
So I keep on forgetting that. But I mean, he might have a run with it, but
I doubt it.
would be his. This would be his chance.
No, don't forget low blow
Yeah,
mania.
no.
Yeah, that whole feud was literally who can kick each other in the dick the hardest. That's literally all that feud was. Like if we're being real here, that's all that feud was.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure Vince. I'm pretty
oh
sure
boy.
Vince was in the back just laughing every time Styles and Nakamura just kicked each other in the dick. I'm pretty sure he was loving it. We certainly wasn't.
Oh my god.
It got cringy very quick.
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh,
So issues between Shayna and the great
this is
Ronda.
such good shit. Oh, Yusuf never changed, my friend.
uh, issues between Shauna and Ronda with they didn't know how to do their MMA rules match, and they had a little difficult doing it. We're going to talk about SummerSlam, but I just wanted to point that out real quick. That came out. And our favorite, Nia Jax, might be returning to WWE full time.
God, no. That's no. Trips, no. Imagine if Trips has a get involved in the Bloodline storyline as well. No. That's the quickest way to ruin that storyline, dead in its tracks. Don't do it. Don't even try.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? She's not like most girls.
Tell me about it. God, if I'm
Uh,
someone in the women's division right now, I'm scared for my career because just don't put me in the ring with her. Otherwise, some injuries happening. Felix Jackson, Nia Jackson uses my reaction. Yeah, I'm glad you agree with me.
that's funny. 24 years today, the best, in my opinion, the best debut ever that we're ever going to see. Chris Jericho on Raw in the Attitude Era, probably the best debut for me ever. Now you can debate it, but for me, I'm not debating that.
It's definitely up there. Like for me, like there are a couple of other ones that could be considered, but Jericho is like at least top three minimum top three. If not, yeah, number one. It's such an iconic moment. Like the countdown, the Rock standing in the ring confused, the pyro, the music, the pop, Jericho going, "Welcome to Raw is Jericho." Just everything about it was great. So yeah, such an iconic moment that will be forever remembered as one of the best moments in WWE history and part of the best debut in WWE history as well. Yeah, Todd having connection issues. Oh. Nia Jackson's bust a spot with his interconnect connection. Oh, Yusuf, you absolutely kill me. Kill me. Oh, fucking hell. Nia Jax bust a spot with his internet connection. I'm dead.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. We back all the way.
We're back.
All right. So most wins this year, including live events, and all three are males.
Top three. What? Sorry.
Most wins this year,
Most wins
including
this year. Ooh.
and this it's all guys too.
So including house shows.
Yeah. I
Seth
don't.
Rollins.
Seth is number two.
Ooh, there's someone who's had more than Seth. Interesting.
I don't. It's gonna be fun.
Um, well, it's definitely not Roman. Roman hasn't had enough matches. But, so Roman definitely ain't gonna be one of them. Even though that was like one of my first thoughts, but then I was being like, no, he hasn't had that many matches. Um,
Yeah, he hasn't even had 20 matches, let alone 20 wins.
yeah, exactly. Gunter? Shit. Not had that many matches either.
You got you got to
Uh,
realize he don't wrestle on Raw that much either.
no, true. Watch me Dirty Dom or something. I highly doubt that. Um, trying to think who wins the law on the weekly shows. Hmm. Cody, good shout, Cody.
No.
Damn.
Damn it. I wish my damn phone would stop. Ah, I got charged.
God, this is a difficult one. Theory? No, God, no.
Oh, damn.
No.
Oh, my God.
Bro, I can't even think could be close to Seth. Yeah, he's number 2. Right, like, who has more wins than Seth? Like, that's blowing my mind.
And the person behind Seth is only one away from him.
What?
Yep.
No, it definitely ain't Gable. It definitely ain't Gable.
No, Gable's lost too much at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I was gonna say Finn Balor, but like he's like every big match he's lost, but I don't know how many like matches he might have won.
Every big match he's lost. Oh, that's so true. Damn.
It is.
It's sponsored.
God, I'm really struggling. I really am struggling.
I think you're going to be very surprised. Oh my God, Bray Wyatt? Hell no. Bray's
Hell no.
list. Bray's been gone half the damn year or long. You got to think of people that has been constantly on shows and then going to be at live events and has a good win rate to a degree. I think you're really going to be surprised.
God, like this is so difficult. No, I really am fucking struggling. Like I can't I can't think of someone who I've seen like who have wrestled very often and has also won a lot of matches. At least none that are standing out to me anyway. Dun, dun, dun. Is this anyone from NXT perhaps? No.
Main roster people.
Main roster people only. Okay. Son of a bitch. Oh, Samuel Kevin, good shout. Kevin Owens?
Boy, both of y'all.
Neither of them.
But both of them are wrong. Blake said AJ Styles. Y'all are
No,
literally
definitely wouldn't be
throwing
AJ.
everyone out there.
I am so lost. Oh my god,
Now,
I don't know.
I will tell you number 3, but I am not going to tell you number 1. Number 3, Damian Priest.
Son of a bitch.
Now, if you recognize, Priest hasn't wrestled that much recently, minus the 6-man tag team match, but he did do a lot of solo, like the last few months before Money in the Bank and all that. So,
Almost no.
number 1, boy, you're gonna be like, nah, ain't no way.
Yeah, because this person apparently has more wins than Seth, and I'm just like, how?
Oh, you're really gonna say hell when I say it.
So someone I would never expect. Bad Bunny, no. Jey Uso?
Just tell me when you quit, because you're about to quit.
Can't be LA Knight, no. Yeah, it has to be surprising.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know which one said it, but they named a lot of people, and they did say there's one that you didn't name that they were actually right. That you didn't name personally, but they comment below something. Oh, he's
It's
going.
not Solo, is it?
No. I think they did. Hold on.
It's actually Dominic.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god! How in the shit?
Well, you got to realize he's been on NXT too, winning.
Yeah, fair, but what?
It's crazy to think he's had most wins, but he's wrestled so much this year.
That's crazy. Dominic Mysterio is one of the most matches. That is so crazy. 'Cause legit, when Yusuf commented, I was just like, yeah, nah, no chance. And I'm just like, fuck's sake. All right, yep, fair play, fair play. I got absolutely done in. Seth was easy, and then the other two was just like, oh Christ. We finally got over it. Dirty Don the True Tribal Chief.
All right, so time to talk about SummerSlam, just the reactions and everything. So let me go back right here, one page over. All right, so we had Ricochet and Logan to start off the show. I don't know about you. Now I know everyone has their different type of matches they like and all that, but to me, if Seth and Finn did not bring it, this would have been my match of the night, honestly. And it was very close, but Seth and Finn took it to a whole different level.
This was my third favorite match on the card. Second was Gunther Drew, and first was Rollins Balor. But yeah, this match was quality just to kick off the show. Pretty much everything we'd expected, to be honest. Like just fun, high spots, just back and forth. Logan cheating to win, which I did like because they kept Ricochet looking strong, but they needed to have Logan win because Logan lost 3 matches beforehand, so he kind of needed a win, and it was a good way of making Ricochet look strong even in defeat. Like, and I will say that it is probably Ricochet's best match in WWE in terms of on the main roster. In NXT, he had some bangers in NXT, but on the main roster, I'd say that's Ricochet's best match on the main roster. I'm just gonna be straight up honest. Which actually it actually shows how good Logan is. Like, say what you will about Logan, you can have whatever opinion about Logan. You can love him, you can hate him. One thing you cannot deny, he brings it in the ring. He really does lay it all on the line. He gives it his all, and he is very good. Like, think about like anyone who's taken a duck to water in wrestling. Arguably, no one has done it better than Logan. Like, because he's now had what 6 matches in WWE. I can't name one bad match he's had, and he's been in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he was fine in that. He's a natural. So yeah, it was a very good way to start the show.
So we can talk about it. We can talk about it now, because if I don't, then I'll forget it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I expected more from Drew and Gunther. At the beginning, I did not. The pace and everything, I did not like it at all. I just didn't.
That's fair.
and I don't want to sound like a somewhat of a hater and all that, but I expected a type of match just like him and Sheamus had, and I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that at all.
That's fair. I feel like Gunther and Drew were just going for like a different style. Wait, the match didn't deliver me personally. I think part of it is because it's hard to deliver to the main triple threat. Yeah, I think that's what you just got to consider. I feel like if you go into a Gunther defense thinking every match is going to live up to his match against Sheamus, a Clash of the Castle, or the triple threat match at WrestleMania, then you're going to end up feeling disappointed. I feel like, me personally, the match was great for, just how the match was. Like, yeah, like maybe it wasn't like as fast paced as maybe we wanted it to be. But what I did feel like from the match, which is what I wanted initially from the match beyond anything else, was the physicality. McIntyre and Gunther brought the physicality in that match. They beat the holy hell out of each other. Like some of the strikes they gave to each other, I was like, fucking hell. So yeah, me personally, I like the match. I wouldn't say I was like, oh my god, what a classic, but at the same time, I wasn't like, I was disappointed. I was like, yeah, great match. I feel like at the start, yes, it was a bit too slow, but it definitely picked up in the middle and on towards the end. That's what saved it for me, and then that's when we go, yeah, great match overall. If the starting pace was that throughout the entire match, then I'd been like, yeah. So I see your point.
Yeah, I don't
But yeah,
I don't I don't really compare a lot of matches, and I don't really like doing that. But on this one, I do, just because Drew and Sheamus has a lot of similarities with their style, so I was expecting it to be somewhat like that. I don't know. I don't know. It just fell off. It didn't fall off all the way, but something with it. That's why.
also, what you got to think, the match was actually really short. Like they didn't get time at all. I think the match was less than 15 minutes. I think the match was like 11, 12 minutes. So they didn't have a lot of time to really do a lot of stuff. In my opinion, they fit a lot of stuff in for how much time they were actually given. But like, if it were me, I feel like Ronda Shayna got given way too much time. Like, I feel like that a few minutes could have been cut off that match and given to Gunter Drew to make it go to like maybe the 15th, maybe late towards the 20-minute mark to really try and elevate that match more than what it was. But yeah, that's my stance on it.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out there because I knew we'd have just a little disagreement, just because I wanted to say something about any minutes too much for me.
80 minutes is too much for Ronda Shayna. Yeah, you're
No,
fucking right
hey, don't
about
worry.
that.
We'll get to that match here in a minute. So second off, I really, for the most part, I really like this match placement for everything on the show.
Yeah, I did
For
as
the
well.
for the most part, that's all I'm gonna say. For the most part. Second off, we had Cody and Brock. This was easily their best match out of the three.
Easy. Easy. Like, it's not even a question.
And look, and it's not better than Drew and Gunther, but I'm going to tell you this: it's very close. That's how for me how close it is. I know you probably ain't going to like that, but for me, that's how close it was, just because of how good both men worked with this.
I did like the story of this match between Cody and Brock. I had Jack Footwear connection, so I didn't see the finish to Cody Brock. um, but yeah, I really did like the story they played in this match. The fact that it started off with Cody getting his absolute ass kicked throughout nearly the entire match. Like he was just getting obliterated. He was getting murdered. And like he was just constantly getting dumped to the outside by Brock, and Brock was telling the ref to count him out. And each time Cody would just get back in, get back in, get back in. Like you got back in at 5, then at 7, then at 8, then at 9, and Brock's frustration just rising and rising and rising. Like it was a good story. And when Brock just lost his shit and F5'd him on the outside with just venom. And yeah, just the fact that Cody just kept going. And then for Cody to come back and win in the way that he did, it was a good story. 1 minute Brock was in his own Kimura lock, then I see them shaking hands with Cody's music playing. I was so confused. Yeah, so basically, Brock broke out of the Kimura lock because Cody had him in it. And they like went back and forth for a little bit, and Cody ended up in 3 crossroads in a row and pinning him 1, 2, 3. But yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the match. Definitely their best match of the 3, and it's not even close. Good story told, and I did like the moment between Brock and Cody afterwards. The fact that Brock showed respect to Cody and all that. The fact that was unscripted as well. That was completely unscripted. Wasn't planned. That was just Brock and Cody just having a moment. Completely unscripted. Wasn't planned. So I feel like that was well done.
Well, if you watch it back, you can tell it's unscripted because Cody's like, "What the hell is going on?" Like, he looks confused himself, and he's like, when Brock, gets away from him after they like had face to face, he did a handshake, and Cody's like,
"The hell?"
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely the best match of the 3. The third match, yeah, thank God that he won. I was thinking, I'm like, are we really gonna not let him win a battle royal? Okay? One thing I did like with the press conference, and I don't know if you watched the press conference at all.
Nope.
There was a guy from the media. He's an older guy, and he really don't care what questions he asked. And I'm glad he spoke up. He said, he asked Triple H, why is Austin Theory the U.S. champion in the Battle Royal and not defending his title?
Facts. Fucking facts. That you know what? Yeah, it should have been on the line. LA Knight should be your new United States champion right now.
Yeah, AJ down. It's very down. The only moment Theory isn't down is in my universe mode right now. Whatever they're doing with him right now is, I hate it for him because they have not treated the U.S. title good for a while now. And
no. Funny enough, ever since he beat Cena at WrestleMania, Theory has done absolutely nothing. Nothing.
I feel bad because it's like everything John Cena said seems like it's correct, but it's not Theory's fault. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Such a shame because Theory seems like a great person. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. Like it sucks. Like it sucks to see the U.S. title not treated the way it should be. Like you know how Gunter is with the Intercontinental Championship. The United States Championship should be treated the same way. Like in my opinion, it should be given the same like relevance. Like
the thing that's really that's irking me with this is at first Theory in the championship was getting treated right. He was having great matches and everything. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know what happened to that.
WrestleMania. Literally, ever since he beat Cena, it's just been downhill. Like he hasn't done anything since he beat Cena, and it sucks. Because like he's had the longest reigning U.S. title reign since Dean Ambrose, and I think he's got like the 3rd longest in company history. And this is probably the most forgettable title reign I think the US title's ever had, which is sad to say, but I think it's true. Um, yeah, I think the sooner it gets off Theory, the better, because I like just have it should have been either it should have been defending the Battle Royal, the US title, or it should have been a one-on-one match between Theory and LA Knight for the title instead of the Battle Royal. It should have been one of those two things. Like right now, LA Knight should be your new United States champion. That's what it should be right now. But he's won the Battle Royal. Hopefully, then it will lead on to him getting a US title opportunity and him winning the belt.
Yeah.
Even the way this reign started, it wasn't great. Like, why did he fail at cashing out a mid-card title, then win the title later anyway? Yeah, it's because Triple H was trying to get rid of the old Austin Theory with, like, the phone shit and stuff like that. Like, basically getting rid of that and then bringing in the new Austin Theory, the Triple H's version of him, essentially. That was why he did it. The whole Money in the Bank failed cash-in and all that. But still, like... That like I didn't like that either. So yeah, it's just everything with Theory this year has been a mess. So yeah, in my opinion, the sooner the title gets off, the better.
Now I will say this because Santos Escobar is supposed to face him for the title eventually. I don't know when. I'd have Austin Theory retain, and then I'd have LA Knight win. I know that wouldn't be the popular choice, but I literally would have Austin Theory retain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, either one of two things. Either Theory retains and then LA Knight beats him afterwards, or Escobar wins and then loses to LA Knight shortly afterwards and he has a short reign. I don't know. Either way, LA Knight will be a United States champion at some point in the near future. I hope. He's literally the perfect person for it. Like, there's no one else on that roster that deserves it more than LA Knight does. Facts. There's no one else that does.
I mean, honestly, the Battle Royal was pretty fun. Fun little match.
Yeah.
You get through the first three matches and you're like, oh my gosh, very good, very good start. Then you get to this fourth match and the crowd goes absolutely dead. I mean,
you mind if I start? All right. So on the podcast before the show, I said that this match needed to be a fight, which it was. To be fair, it was a fight, but they didn't really need to take it so literally with the whole MMA thing, like them acting like they're in the octagon. Like, I don't understand why they really went that full on with it. Because it legit looked like they were trying to simulate an MMA fight in a wrestling ring. So you have to realize we in the UK, we are trying to fight sleep as well and watching these events rather than showing us one of the toughest things I've ever sat through. So true.
I honestly feel for y'all because I know you're getting close to halfway through the show, and then you get this bore fest. Hey, I hate it for y'all.
Yeah, literally, like this was at like 2:30, like 3:00 in the morning, and we were just like, fucking hell. But yeah, no. This match should have, like, if the match was going to be like this, like in the way they did it, it should have been quick. Like, it should have been a couple of minutes, just throw down. Like, not a long. Well, it wasn't long, but it was very drawn out. It was a lot longer than it needed to be. But yeah, I really didn't like that they literally tried to simulate an MMA fight in a wrestling ring. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, have it be a striking battle, sure, you could do that in a wrestling match. Like, just do a lot of strikes, but they should have just done it the way they always do those brawls in WWE. Exactly the point I'm making. Like, they didn't have to try and make it look like an MMA fight because it's so cringy. It was so cringy. So yeah, by far the worst match of the night. But yeah, I wanted a fight, but not in that way. I'll move on to you, Tyler.
Um, I said this on my review, and I say it again. What they should have done is have them do Extreme Rules match or something, just like a fight, and then you can throw in some MMA stuff. No, 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 no. They don't deserve that. And just throw in some MMA stuff because I'm sorry if they do MMA rules match. I saw that kick that Shayna did to Ronda. Ronda's just laying there. If it's MMA rules, you're going and pounding her
It's over.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I thought that myself when that kick happened and Ronda was just fucking out. I was like, oh, if you're doing MMA rules, that means Shayna just won there because if if that was a real fight, it's over. Like the fight ain't continuing any longer. Like Ronda's out cold after
Well,
that kick. That kick was brutal.
well, this is all I'm going to say. If that's Ronda's last match, that really just shows how bad her damn run was with WWE overall. If that don't just match the perfect ending to a crappy, crappy run with them, hey, you know what? It's kind of just the perfect ending for Ronda. She came in hot as can be, couldn't wrestle, and she went out. Couldn't do a match that she should like a match just overall that should be at least decent. Not good at all. Oh boy. And we've already talked about Drew and Gunther, so we're not going to talk about it too much. I'll say this: they did pick it up towards the middle, and boy, they had like a full minute of chops back and forth, and I'm like, oh my god, my chest was like, oh my god, how are they doing this?
That was my favorite part of the match. Like the fact that they were just exchanging chops and like Gunter, of course, has the fucking most devastating chops in the business. But when McIntyre was bringing them back, I was just like, Drew can chop himself. Holy shit! Like Gunter may be here, but Drew's just like there. Like he's right behind. He can chop like a motherfucker. So when they were just exchanging back and forth, I was like, fuck. I would not want to be in that ring when I'm pure adrenaline taking those chops. Yeah, I would be dead after one, and they were just giving each other like 10 each, and I'm just like, nah, Chief. I'm good, thanks. I am good. One chop from either of those men, and my chest be caved in. I am good. But yeah, overall, I really did like the match. And in terms of where Gunther goes with this, obviously he's going to beat Honky Tonk Man's record, and deservedly so. Maybe Gable's could be the one to beat him, maybe not. Maybe they'll have someone else lined up, but we'll see. I think one Gunther chop I'd fall apart like Lego bricks. Facts.
The only thing I will say, I think Gable should be the person, but if they're going to have him face off at Payback, I think there's got to be some sort of bad finish that Gunther don't beat him clean.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say. To the best match of the night for most people, Seth defending the world championship against Finn. Thank God. Thank God.
Chef's kiss. What a match. What a match. Especially near the end. The near falls had me so many fucking times. The stomp, Finn kicks out. I'm going mental. Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace after Priest gets involved. Rollins kicks out. I thought Finn Balor had it won. I lose my shit. God, I really the 7th pay was so far. Yeah, oh my god, the mind games from both men. Oh my god, Finn having the 7 paint on the shoulder. And then Seth Rollins having the gear that he wore in that match at SummerSlam 7 years ago, and saying to Finn, I haven't forgotten either. Like, oh, so good. Storytelling at its finest. My only gripe with this match is that Finn Balor didn't win. I really feel like Finn should have won. I see the story that they're doing with Priest and the briefcase, and the fact that whenever the briefcase gets involved, it's a fucking curse for Finn Balor. I get that that's the story they're telling. I completely get that, and they're probably going to lead to either Finn or Priest going away from Judgment Day, getting kicked out, whatever. I understand that.
Which one do you think is going to get away from Judgment Day?
Balor. I feel like Balor could get kicked out of the Judgment Day. I really feel like it's going to happen. It's the more likely one, I think.
Do you think he's going to get beat up, or do you think they're just going? It's going to be just subtle, and they're not. They're going to be like, "Hey, I think you should go," or something like that.
Good question. I could see Judgment
them going that route of, hey, we respect you so much that we're not going to beat you up.
See, I just don't see them doing that though. Like with Priest and Rhea and Dom, the way they are as characters, I just don't see them doing that. I feel like Finn is just going to get his ass kicked at some point because especially from Priest. I feel like Priest is going to have enough of his shit, if I'm being honest. That face Priest had when Finn lost the match said it all. He was like, really, bro? Like, he had enough of his shit. So I really do feel like it's only a matter of time before. I feel like Priest is going to be the first one to pull the trigger on turning on against Balor, but then I feel like Rhea and Dom is going to follow suit, and then Finn's going to get kicked down and turn face. Also, where's McDonough fit into this? That's probably why I think Finn is more likely to go away from the Judgment Day, because I feel like it's going to get to a case where Finn is going to get kicked out from Judgment Day, and Finn's going to line with JD McDonough or Jordan Devlin, as I better know him by. Because it makes sense, seeing as Finn Balor was the one who trained JD McDonough. So it would make sense for them to have some sort of alliance and then try and take down the Judgment Day. Maybe we'll see.
I honestly think they're going to go the opposite route. I think they're going to kick Damian out.
Really?
Even though all signs leads to Finn, I think especially if Triple H is booking the show, which he had all range to book Monday night, and you could tell because you had JD show up, you had appearance from Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwood. That's the first appearance she did physically, Indy, since being drafted. So if Triple H has his own way, I'll say this with Triple H booking, think the opposite. I always say that.
True. I will not rule out Priest being the one that gets turned on. I will not rule it out. But all points goes towards Balor. Like I feel like that's where they're going. But I'll go on to the reason why I feel like Balor should have won. Even though that's the story they're telling, I feel like Balor really should have won. Because it would have tied up the redemption storyline so well. Just the 7-year build towards a redemption storyline for Finn to right all the wrongs at SummerSlam. It would also make up for all the shitty booking decisions and stuff, all the shit he went through for years under Vince. It would have made up for all of that. And also the dynamic of Finn Balor with the World Heavyweight Championship and Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank briefcase would have made for entertaining television, and you could literally break them up with that way and lead to the same thing, just with Finn holding the title. Because I really feel like Finn deserves it, because Finn has really been getting the short end of the stick in the Judgment Day, I feel like. Which I feel like is another way of them tying into why Finn might get kicked out of the Judgment Day. Because, again, he's really been getting the short end of the stick when it comes to everything. Because Priest, he's really come into his own, especially in the second half of the year. Dominic, same thing. Rhea, she's been dominant since the group has come together. I actually agree with Ron's winning just because if Balor won the dynamic between Balor and Damian, I can see getting old very quick. No, I feel like I mean, yeah, if it was Vince booking the whole like dynamic between Finn and Priest thing, then I could see it getting old with the whole briefcase title thing. But under Triple H, I feel like he would make it interesting. Um, but yeah, um, my point about Balor, Rhea's been on top like since the Judgment Day's come together, whereas Balor, he's lost every big match he's had as a part of the Judgment Day. Like especially the ones this year. Think to Mania against Edge. In my opinion, he should have won that match. The only reason why he didn't, and I honestly think this, was because Roman beat Cody in the main event, and they needed a big babyface win on the show. That's the only reason why Edge won. In my honest opinion, I feel like that's the only reason. If Cody was going to win that match against Roman, they would have had Balor beat Edge because it made more sense. Edge hasn't done anything since Mania, nothing at all. Whereas Finn Balor's been involved in main event pictures and main event scenes with titles. So it just makes more sense looking back that Finn Balor should have won that match at Mania, and in my opinion, Finn should have won this match against Seth. Because like Seth doesn't need the belt. Seth is not going to move on to Nakamura, fair. But in my opinion, Nakamura is not going to be the one to dethrone Seth.
No.
And it feels like to me they're leading to Damian Priest cashing in on Rollins. Which, if that's the case, I feel like the better story would have been Balor wins the belt and Priest eventually cashes in on Balor. If they're going to go to the Damian Priest Money in the Bank cashing in route, I feel like it would have made more sense if Balor is the one in that spot. Because it just would have made more sense. Then Priest just cashing in on Seth Rollins after Finn Balor has failed to beat Rollins, and then Priest can brag to Balor that he's beaten Rollins and he's now the champion, and then they can kick Balor out that way. I just feel like the way I thought about it would make more sense and is the better way of going about it. But I'm not Triple H. Triple H has never like failed me before, so I'm willing to see where he goes with this. But my standpoint at the moment is that Finn Balor should have won that match. That's my only gripe with the match. Apart from that, incredible match. One of my favorite matches of this year so far. That's going to be in my top 10 come the end of this year, I think.
I go back. I gotta go back and watch a lot of matches to even get a top 10 list for this. But I mean, towards the end of the year, I say every 2 or 3 podcasts, I got a list. I hope you do too, and we're going to do top 10. Like last year we flew blindly with our top 10, but this year,
Yeah, we did. But I still feel like we did a very good job last year, considering we were going blind.
I will say this: the match could have went either way, and I wouldn't have mind. I'll say everyone follows that finish look now. Yeah, it did. It actually,
Yeah. It did. It was very smooth, like the way like Priest like slid the briefcase in to make it. Well, he was helping Balor out, but then Rollins just clocks it and then just stomps Balor's face into the briefcase. Like it was a clean finish. I will give them that. So yeah, props to them for making it look as smooth and clean as they did, because it could have been very clunky and looked like so forced, but they made it look very natural. So yeah, you're right, Yusuf. They did it well.
I'll say this: it could have went either way, and I wouldn't have mind. This was how this match was to me. Both points you could have, but I like the route Triple H went. Because even though Balor lost another big match, which I don't like, and everything, Finn is just going to be in the future. He's going to win the big one eventually. He will. But it's all about this match. Even though it was very, very good, the ending is just adding more story to him and Priest. I hate to say it, but that's what the ending was, and this match, what I like is you didn't see much of Priest and all of them that much till the end.
Yeah.
According to their match at Money in the Bank, I'm like, this is too much, Damian Priest. So, but this was the right out. But I do like how Seth retained, honestly. But because even though they could have built Balor up with the story with him and Priest, I think everyone knows it's been coming to a head too much. So I'm glad they're not overdoing it because I mean I don't know because it looks like it is coming to the somewhat climax of it. So, but so the co-main event, I don't know what you think about this. I'm gonna let you go off for it first. Asuka defending against Charlotte and Bianca. To me, this is the only thing I'll say. The ending of it, I don't. The ending to this match, when it happened, I was just like this. I literally took my glasses off and I started shaking my head. But when I got to hear EO Sky's great music, I was like, okay, so they're doing it.
Thing is, right, I was in two minds. Like, I think the match overall was great. I really did like the match. I feel like they brought it, all three of them. One thing I will say about Bianca, when that spot initially happened and she was selling the injury, she had me fooled. I thought that was real at first. I am not going to lie. She had me completely fooled.
I think she had everyone fooled, but guess what? You can't fool this sucker. Because I'm just watching her and I'm like, I literally, and everyone that I'm watching it with said, oh my God, she's hurt. And I'm like, no, she's not. I know that sounds because she played it off really good, but I'm thinking, oh no, she's not. And then when I saw her over limping and coming back to the ring, I'm like, oh my God, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, because like it was initially like her selling and her acting. Like she did it so perfectly that she had me perfectly believing that she was legitimately hurt, and I was like, oh fuck, like what are we gonna do with this match now? And like they were just bringing it back, and I was like, oh fuck's sake, now it's gonna be a one-on-one. But then Bianca started coming back. I was like, it's a fake injury. They had me. Fair play. But yeah, overall, really did like the match. I didn't like the result at first, but I understood why they did it afterwards because it now makes sense. With the whole injury thing, Bianca, I like how. I mean, me personally, I would have had Bianca pin Charlotte instead of Asuka with the roll up, but nitpicky. But yeah, the roll up to pin Asuka, fine. But initially, like I was like, oh fuck. But I had a feeling. It wasn't just going to end with Bianca as champion and then that's it. As soon as Bianca won, I had a gut feeling that Io was cashing in because I think it might have been the injury, but I just sort of had a feeling. I was like, yeah, it ain't over. Io's cashing. I didn't even by that point when I thought it, her music didn't even hit. So I thought that before her music even hit. So I was just like, Io's cashing in. She's got to be. Like Bianca just went through an injury and only just barely won the match. She's very hurt. And was like, this is a prime opportunity to cash in if you're Io Sky. And then her music came and was like, come on. Like I just went from like down here to all the way up here in like 2 seconds. I was so ecstatic. And Io Sky is women's champion. It feels good to say that because Io's been one of my favorites for years. In fact, probably my favorite, honestly. Like, I love Io.
It,
So the fact that she's now women's champion, I'm on top of the world with it. My only prediction for the night came true with the way the main event ended, and I don't know if I like it or not. Well, with Jimmy, we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that.
Um,
Um, Go on, Tyler.
the only thing I'll say is, for me, the match, there were spots, and there's spots that just look sloppy to me. So
There were a couple of sloppy moments. I will give you that. Yeah.
that just look sloppy, and I'm like, and I'm just thinking, these women are better than this. But the match overall was good. I wouldn't say it was great or
No.
I'm going to go back and watch again. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Charlotte should have gotten the pin, but oh, I'm not going to be mad about it because we got Io Scott cashing in and becoming women's champion. So
Yep. And the moments with Bailey and Dakota as well really warms my heart, especially when Dakota came out. I was just like, yes, Dakota. We have the whole of damage control here to really make the moment feel special. So it was a nice little great moment for Io Sky in her career. Now where they go with this, you know, for the future, I really do feel like Bailey's gonna turn at some point. Like I don't know whether they're gonna wait for Dakota to come back or not. Probably not, because Dakota's quite a bit away from coming back, so I've heard. So I feel like they're just going to have Bailey just turn on Io at some point soon, because Bailey's jealousy of Io being champion is going to boil over at some point. It just is. Bailey's not going to be, oh, buddy, like you're the champion. Yeah, I'm so happy for you for long. She's not going to. So it's going to get to a point where she's going to turn on Io. They're going to have a program. Maybe when Dakota comes back, she's going to pick a side, either pick Io's side or pick Bailey's side. Who knows? Maybe by that point, Dakota will just do her own thing when she comes back. Who the hell knows? But one thing's for sure, Bailey's definitely turning on Io at some point, which I'm looking forward to it. I feel like that's going to be a great program between the two. So, yeah, overall, Io Sky is women's champion, and I couldn't be happier about it. Thumbs
I,
up.
I agree. So we go to the main event. We got Roman defending against Jay. Um, and obviously, we're just going to talk about it. I'll say this about the match. I don't know the way I saw it. It was Roman. Maybe.
AJ clean. Solo Sokoa interfering is overdone at this point, and Jimmy isn't there. Jimmy betrayal was clear for me. Yeah, I mean, it was clear that Solo and Jimmy were going to get involved at some point. Like whether Jimmy was going to be like with Jay and backing up Jay or turn on Jay. Jimmy was obviously going to get involved at some point. Like that much was obvious. I honestly didn't expect the Jimmy turn. I'll be honest, I didn't expect it, not by a long shot. I expected him to show up and sort of try and help Jay win, but I wasn't expecting him to turn. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. But now, after seeing a certain thread of reasons why Jimmy could have done it, it makes total sense. The only way I see Jimmy backing Jay would be if they were going to have Jay win. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we knew Roman was winning. There was no way Jay was going to win that match. No fucking way. Um, but yeah, after seeing a certain thread, it now makes total sense why Jimmy would turn on Jay. It makes total sense because they've been planting seeds behind the scenes for a long damn time, and we were completely oblivious.
Yeah. Uh, oh. Oh.
Fuck's sake, sorry about that. Getting interrupted. Um, but yeah, it makes total sense. The match overall between Roman and Jay, I liked it. On Wednesday was great. Like it was what it was. Like it was. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I hate to say
Like it was.
a lot of people ain't gonna like it. I mean, the story about it was good. The match itself wasn't like bad, but it was one of his weakest title defenses.
Yeah, I would say overall, it was what it was. Is probably the best way to describe it. Yeah, like it was great like, in terms of like the shock moment and all that, but in terms of the actual match itself, it was sort of a just, eh, it was okay. It wasn't like something that blew my mind away or anything like that. Um, but yeah, it was what it was. That's literally the best way to put the match. Not that it was bad or anything; it was just there. um, but yeah, we'll go on about like the reasons why Jimmy might have turned on Jay because there's been quite a few seeds planted in the past few months and probably like over a year now. There were seeds being planted. So and it's pretty much like going on about like how like Jimmy's jealous of Jay that because of Jay's been getting all the success as the right hand man and pretty much trying to break into the solo role when Jimmy was injured because Jimmy being injured was the only reason why Jay got that opportunity in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, that was brought up in promos. So seeds were planted there, and even Roman has like said that Jay is jealous. Jimmy's jealous of Jay, because there was this promo that happened where it was just like, who was the one man that had a problem with Jay being the right hand man? It wasn't the wise man. It wasn't Solo. It wasn't me. It was Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And that has a lot of significance because that just shows the jealousy that is there in Jimmy. Like Jimmy secretly wants to be next in line to be tribal chief. He wants to be next in line after Roman. And the fact that Jay was going for it and to be the next tribal chief by beating Roman for the title after Jimmy got taken out by Roman and all that, because after Jimmy and Jay both turned on Roman, they sort of had that moment in a promo where they were both just like, "Do you want to be tribal chief? No. Do you want to be tribal chief? Hell no." And we were going like, Solo has our vote for when we beat Roman. So they were going by the mindset of neither of them wants to dethrone Roman. They just want to teach him a lesson, essentially. But then as soon as Jimmy got injured, Jay then started to go like, "Oh, I want a title match. Like I'm going to like dethrone Roman. I'm going to be the next tribal chief." So Jimmy probably saw that while he was injured and been like, "Hang on a minute, when we just being like, no, we don't want to do that." So Jimmy might have felt betrayed, and again, jealousy seeping in because he then wants to be the next tribal chief, so he stops Jay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big theme of jealousy here. Big theme of jealousy. Because even Roman said to Jay in a promo when after Jimmy got injured, "Oh, as soon as your brother gets injured, what does he ask for? He asks for a title match." Like, is that how selfish you are? Like, again, planting the seeds. The seeds have been planted for Jimmy and Jay for a long time.
But I will say this: Paul Heyman knew what was up when Jimmy did that. But
Yeah,
Roman
Roman didn't have a clue.
Roman looked confused. So
Yeah, Roman looked confused, whereas Paul Heyman, he looked like he knew what was happening. So maybe Paul knew something. Because I also have another theory with Paul that he's actually the one pulling all the strings, like with everything. I'm very intrigued to see where they take this. Yeah, there's so many layers to this. There's so many layers, which is why this storyline is the best, arguably, in WWE history. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah, there's so many layers to this. But yeah, I saw a theory where like Paul Heyman is the one pulling all the strings. Because there was also a promo a backstage segment that Sammy had with Jay, that Roman's not the problem. It's the tribal chief. It's when Paul gets in his head. It's that voice of Paul Heyman in his head. the tribal chief mentality. Just when that kicks in, that's when shit happens. So yeah, it's when Paul gets in his head and manipulates him. Paul manipulates Roman, and by that, Roman manipulates everyone he's around. Roman secretly isn't actually the proper bad man here in this whole thing. He's painted as that, but he's not actually the really bad guy here. It's Paul.
Yeah.
If you really think about it. Which I read on that and I was fascinated by it. I was like, that's so true. Oh my God. So that's another thing they could really build on towards. Like, again, so many layers in this story. It is ridiculous. Like, I love it. Like, I wish more storylines were like this with this many layers, but
what do you think about people saying it's overdone and all that? I don't think it's overdone,
no.
but I don't think there's much more to the story you can do.
No. Yeah, like when Paul Heyman said, "Oh, the stories are only at the bottom of the third," I was just like, "No, Paul, no." This story's pretty deep in by now. So like, it's definitely more than halfway through. You
Now,
cannot tell me the story's
and
gonna go
Paul,
for over.
and
Go
Paul,
on.
and for people that don't know what bottom of the third is, it's like the third inning of a baseball game.
Yeah,
So
there are nine.
for,
Even I know. I'm not even American. Even I know there are 9 innings in a baseball game, and there's
so
like the top and the bottom.
so for the UK people that don't know baseball, it what he's basically saying is, hey, in a football game, we're in the 10th minute out of the 90th minute, basically.
Essentially, yes. Or around like maybe like the 25th minute or something like that. Like it's not even halfway through done, basically. We're not even into half time, which I know is bollocks. Like because this story's been going on for over a year, over 2 years nearly. Maybe actually, I think it has
Well,
been over 2 years.
I hate to tell Paul, but we're in the 8th inning and we're about to go into the ninth.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the story's at. Like because this story doesn't have another 2 years left in it. It just doesn't. Like no story can go on for 4 years without people losing interest, no matter how good it is.
Um, Another thing I saw, and this last thing I'll say, um, some people are saying they're going to try to hold off Jay and Jimmy for WrestleMania, which there's no way you can do that.
Not for the first match. I feel like if they want to end the feud at WrestleMania, they could definitely do that. I
Yeah,
feel like they can. They could definitely delay it for their final match. They could probably do 3 matches. Do a trilogy, as a traditional feud would be, I guess. Just do a trilogy. And the third and final match happen at WrestleMania. They could easily do that, I feel like they can. But I heard like they want to make their first match happen at WrestleMania. I was like, there is no physical way you can delay it for that long.
that's. I think I saw something that said that's 35 weeks, which that is. Huh, that's too much.
8 months,
8 months.
8 months,
Over.
around that sort of time. So it's like no, you cannot delay it for that long. You need to have their first match happen, maybe not right away, but soon, and then do their second match a little bit afterwards. And then if you want to make their third and final match happen at WrestleMania, by all means, because I feel like an Uso vs Uso match at WrestleMania would be great. Because I feel like I think that's something they said that they've wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like that's one of their goals. They've wanted to face each other at WrestleMania, so they can do that. But have that be the end of the feud. Don't have it be their first match because there's no way you can delay for that long.
No way.
So yeah, but yeah, your comment about the storyline being at the bottom of the eighth and going into the ninth. That's pretty much where the story is at, in my opinion. Like it's getting to the end. Like there's only so much more you can do with this now.
Yeah. So that's enough. I mean, Roman retained. I think all of us expected that, but Roman looked confused. It'll be interesting to see what they do Friday for SmackDown. Okay, so now I'm gonna let you take over because it's time to talk about some great football stuff for you. For me, I can't say nothing because I don't know. So he's going to talk about the standings, what he predicts, and all that. So I'll let you take over.
Alrighty then. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. My 2023-2024 Premier League predictions. Okay, so we're going to start off from bottom to top. So we're going to go from the teams I think get relegated, and then we're going to keep going up. So 3 teams get relegated for people who don't know. So like 20th, 19th, and 18th place are the ones who get relegated down to the Championship. And down bottom, I have Luton Town. And I feel like that's an obvious one. Like, there is no physical way Luton Town is going to stay up in the Premier League. As much as I hate it, I would like to see them stay up because it's a fairy tale story. Because just 10 years ago only, they were in the Conference League. Not even in, like, Championship, League One, League Two. They were in the Conference, which is ridiculous. And then they got promoted to League One, spent, I think, 4 seasons in League One, and then got promoted to League Two. Got promoted from League Two to League One immediately. They only spent 1 season in League Two, and then they spent 4 seasons in League One before getting promoted to the Championship. And now they're in the Premier League, which is when I saw that they got promoted, I was extremely happy for them, especially because one of my friends is actually a Luton Town supporter, so hopefully he doesn't hate me by predicting them to be bottom, but I'm sorry. They are going down. I would like to see them stay up, but it's not happening. Especially with how low quality their squad is. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. And what else is inevitable is 19th place Sheffield United, another team that just came up to the Premier League. Their squad is just not good enough. It's just not. They're not making any signings. Their squad is the same. I think it's the exact same as it was when they were in the Premier League a couple of years ago. And they got relegated, besides a couple of people who have left, obviously. So if the squad's not any better, you can't expect them to do any better than they did last time. So, yep, they're going down. 18th place. Now, this is a bold one here because they have never been relegated before, but they have been walking a tightrope the past couple of seasons, and they've gotten on the verge of relegation, and I feel like it's going to happen to them this year, and that's Everton. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Liverpool supporter, and obviously Liverpool and Everton are local rivals, but I feel like they are going down. Because, like I said, they've been walking a tightrope the past couple of seasons, only escaping relegation by the merest of margins, especially last season. If they'd lost to Bournemouth on the final day of the season, or even drew against Bournemouth on the final day of the season last season, they would have got relegated. So I feel like their luck is simply going to run out. The only way I can see that they stay up is because they have Sean Dyche as their manager, and Sean Dyche is very good at staying up in the Premier League. He did it with Burnley for a lot of If there's one man who can keep them up, it is Sean Dyche, but at the same time, I just feel like their luck is going to run out. So I'm going to go Everton, 18th place. 17th place, I have Nottingham Forest. Now, I was between Nottingham Forest and Everton of who I was going to stick, 17th or 18th. So I can see Nottingham Forest easily being 18th instead of Everton being 17th. But I'm going to go with my gut and say Everton 18th, Nottingham Forest 17th. Nottingham Forest escaping relegation just. Just simply because Nottingham Forest haven't made that many signings. In fact, I don't think they've made any. No, they've made a couple. They've made a signing of Anthony Elanga from Manchester United from their bench, which, fair enough, decent signing for them, but it's not going to be anything that's going to get them beyond 17th, I feel. Which sucks. I like Nottingham Forest as a club. They could get relegated. I really hope they don't, because I like seeing Nottingham in the Premier League. Which is why I'm predicting them at 17th. I feel like they're going to escape relegation but only just. 16th place, I have Bournemouth. Now, some people may be thinking, since the sacking of Gary O'Neill, the harsh sacking, mind, that Bournemouth are going to capitulate and they're going to get relegated. Nah. I feel like Bournemouth are going to be fine. They are going to be in the sort of relegation race or scrap, as you can say, but I feel like they'll be fine. They do have a bit of quality in their squad. I feel like they have enough quality to stay up. So the match they have in is actually quite decent. So normally with Wolves, I would have them around 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, around that sort of placement normally. I have them 15th here because they've let a lot of players go, a lot of important players. Players like Ruben Neves, Jean Moutinho, Diego Costa, Adama Traore, and Raul Jimenez, all gone from Wolves. And all of them pretty important players for them. So I feel like without those players, they're going to struggle. Hell, some people predicted them to get relegated. I wouldn't go to that extent, but it is a shout. I'm not going to lie. That would be. I wouldn't be surprised if they did get relegated, but I don't feel like they are. I think they'll be 15th. But they are going to struggle big time. It's not going to be a good season for Wolves at all. 14th place, I have Fulham. Now, this is another club that will be a drastic downgrade from last season. Last season, they finished 10th, I think. Let me see if I have it in here. Yeah, they finished 10th last season, which was really good. No one expected Fulham to do as well. And they managed to finish 10th. They killed it. Now, this season, I'm expecting them to have a drop off because there's a little something called second season syndrome that affects at least one club per year. So the first season in the Premier League back, they do well. And then the second season, when they have to repeat the trick, they fail.
Well, it's crazy. That's in other sports as well. So that's why I was like, oh, yeah. Because it just happens in other sports. Say, like, someone has, like, a good run into the playoffs, and then the next year they get into the playoffs, but they do absolutely nothing. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I feel like second season syndrome is going to hit them like a ton of bricks. Not only that, like their main striker, Mitrovic, is looking like he wants out of Fulham, and he was their main striker. Like he was the one scoring all the goals. So without him, I feel like they're going to struggle a bit. Definitely a lot more than they were previously. They still have a lot of good players. Oh, Willian as well is also at the door, who also was one of their best players last season. So that's two of their best players gone, reportedly. It's going to happen. If they keep Mitrovic is not going to be happy, and he's not going to be able to put in performances like he did last season anyway. So Fulham are going to struggle. So I have them at 14th. 13th, West Ham. And this is Josh's team, a friend of mine that I know. So, but he said he will actually be content with 13th. So maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is. But yeah, it is actually a one placement improvement to last season because last season they finished 14th. So it's a bit of an improvement, but not much. And compared to where they should be, because West Ham just a couple of seasons ago were finishing top 8. So.
Might have lost him for a second. For that
There
man felt like a.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go. All right. So yeah, with West Ham, I feel like they're going to struggle because they have Europa League to contend with. They had Europe last season with the Conference League. They managed to win that. Fair play to them. But Europa League is going to be a lot harder to do as well as the league. It's like the balance of games is going to be too much for them. So I feel like it's going to be another rough season in the Premier League for them. So yeah, and also they lost Declan Rice. That's something because that was their captain, their best player, arguably. So they've lost Declan Rice to Arsenal. They haven't replaced him yet. They've brought a player in. but not a player I see making drastic improvements to them in terms of how they're going to do in the league. So overall, yeah, I'll have them at 13th for now. Let's see. 12th, I have Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace is one of the most predictable teams to predict because they finish around the same place every season. Around 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. That around that sort of placement is where they'll finish every single season. Like the points tally they end with is always in the 40s. It's every season. I think it's every season they've been ever since they've been promoted. I think nearly a decade ago now, they finished in the 40s in terms of points tally. So like around mid-table. So they're so predictable. So one thing I will say, they have lost Wilfred Zaha, which was their main guy. So maybe they might struggle a bit more this season. But I still feel like they're going to be fine. They have Elise, they have Eze still at the club. They're good young talents up front, so I feel like they'll be fine. But yeah, around mid-table, around 12th is where I have Crystal Palace. 11th, I have Burnley. This is the big shock because Burnley just got promoted. And this is going to be the club that causes shocks. Because like some people will be saying they'll get relegated. Definitely not. They'll definitely won't get relegated. But some people won't be calling for them to finish as high as I have them, which is the 11th. Some people will be thinking they'll get close to being relegated, but like not quite there. But no, I think they'll generally have a very good season. They'll have a similar season to what Fulham had last season. That's what I feel like Burnley are going to do. Because under Vincent Kompany, they have been immense. Like they got over 100 points in the Championship last season. That is no easy feat. So in the Premier League, I feel like they're going to do very well. So yeah, if I'm right, then I'm a genius. But we will see. It's just the fact that Vincent Kompany having Burnley play attractive football, which I never would expect. No one expected Burnley to end up playing attractive football. We associate Burnley with the team that had Sean Dyche as their manager, and they just played like dirty, like just like unattractive football, like big shithouse centre backs, like and shithouse tackles, like just not pretty to watch, but they get the job done. But now they play some very good football. So yeah, 11th is where I've been. And onwards. 10th place, I have Brentford. Now, people may be surprised that I have Brentford so high up, considering they have lost their main striker, Ivan Toney, until January because he's been banned. But I really do feel like Brentford will be fine. Like, once they have Ivan Toney back, they'll kill it January onwards. But I feel like even without Toney, they'll be fine. Because they have...
You said banned?
Yeah, banned.
Okay. Explain that to people that don't understand, aka me, and then.
So he's picked up a ban for essentially betting. Essentially, he was a big better. So yeah, they pretty much got on his ass about it, and yeah, he's been banned for a while.
We got. We got some of those in American football that have gotten banned. From that. Oh, there ain't no allegedly. He probably did it.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been banned until January. But I feel like without him, they'll still be fine. They've got a good quality squad. They've got a great defense overall. Their midfield solid. They've got some decent options up front, like Mbrumo. I always have a difficulty pronouncing his name. Mbrumo and Wissa. He's going to be a good, decent backup striker for Tony until he comes back. And then once Tony comes back, then they'll be killing it. But that's why I feel like they're gonna end up being 10th. They'll be fine. Maybe they'll go a bit lower. Maybe they'll end up 12th or 13th or something like that. That's as low as I think they'll end. Like they won't end any lower than that. 9th, I have Brighton. Now, Brighton fans probably won't be happy that I said 9th. Normally they would be happy, but they won't be happy considering where they finished last season. And last season they had an immense season. Last season they let's see, they finished sixth. Yeah, they finished sixth in the league last season, which is a hell of an accomplishment, I will say, by them. But by finishing sixth, that means this upcoming season is going to be very difficult for them because now they have Europa League football to contend with. And that, for a team like Brighton, is going to be very tough to balance Europa League football and Premier League as well. And that's why I feel like their results in the Premier League are going to suffer a bit. Not also mentioning the fact that they've lost a couple of key players, like Alexis McAllister. We signed him. Thank you very much, Brighton. So they've lost McAllister, who is one of their main players, was one of the main players. They're going to lose Caicedo to Chelsea, most likely, which is another one of their main players. So they are going to naturally struggle a bit more this season than they were last season. They do still have a couple of good players, like Mitoma and Enciso. He's a very good young player. They do still have some good options up front. They are going to be dangerous still, but not as dangerous as they were last season, I feel. Let's see. So 8th place, I have Villa. Again, similarly to Brighton, Villa, they finished very well last season. In fact, they finished 7th last season, so just behind Brighton. But I feel like they're going to finish ahead of Brighton this season, but they are going to go one down to 8th this season, purely because they have Europe as well. Not Europa League, but they have the Conference League, which I'm going to make a shout here. They're going to win the Conference League. I'm going to make that prediction right here, right now. Aston Villa are going to be your Conference League champions by the end of the season. Because Unai Emery is a master when it comes to European competitions. He won many Europa Leagues on the bounce with Sevilla and Villarreal. So I feel like the Conference League is going to be a cakewalk for him. And Aston Villa do have the squad to contend for that and can believably win it. But obviously, if they're going to focus on the Conference League, that means sometimes they may struggle when it comes to the Premier League and they'll drop a couple of results here and there. So I have them 8th in the Premier League, but I do think they're going to win the Conference League. So overall, I think it's going to be a very good season for Aston Villa. 7th. Now, this is a very dependent on if Harry Kane stays at the club. I feel like they're going to finish 7th. If they lose Harry Kane to Bayern Munich or whoever gets Kane, if Kane leaves, I could see them dropping a couple places down. I could see them maybe going to 9th, and then Brighton and Aston Villa will go above them. I could see that happening if they lose Kane. If they don't lose Kane, 7th is where I see them ending. And which is one place better than last season. I feel like they finished 8th last season. Yeah, they did.
Hey, his penalty kick is still going in the sky.
I rate it. Yeah, that ball is still traveling somewhere. But yeah. Postecoglou, their new manager, is going to have them playing some very good attacking football compared to Antonio Conte last season. Although Antonio Conte, an elite manager, there's no doubt about that. But when it comes to teams like Tottenham, who are better attacking wise than they are defensively, Conte is a defensive coach. He specializes in teams that are better in defense than they are attacking. And that's not what Tottenham is. So that's why Conte struggled at Tottenham. And I feel like players like Heung-min Son and Kulusevski, he wasn't able to get the best out of Son or Kulusevski. Kane is just going to score goals no matter what. But Son really struggled last season, which is really unlike Son, because Son's world class on his own right. But Postecoglou, I feel like his attacking football, he's going to get the best out of Son. He's going to get the best out of Kulusevski and also Kane as well if he stays. So I feel like 7th place is going to be where Tottenham will end. A couple of weeks ago, I actually had them to finish 6th, but I've changed my mind. There is one team I feel like is going to do slightly better than them, and that's Chelsea. Chelsea I have at 6th place. Originally, I had them at 7th a couple of weeks ago. in my initial predictions, but I changed them around now. Ever since seeing Chelsea preseason, I know it's preseason, but since seeing them in preseason, they have looked very good. I will give them that. It seems like Pochettino is really going to be the man that's going to steady the ship with Chelsea, which is very much needed because they had a horror season last season. 12th in the league last season. 12th. You are not hearing me wrong. 12th. They finished below Fulham and Crystal Palace. That is a position where Chelsea Football Club should never be. And I hate Chelsea, so I loved every second of it. Don't get me wrong. I fucking loved it because I hate Chelsea with a passion. But that is a position they should never be in because they are one of the top clubs in the Premier League by reputation alone. They have the biggest improvement from last season, but that's not hard. From 12th to 6th. But yeah, Pochettino, he's going to get the best, probably not the best yet, but he's going to get a lot of good out of the squad he has now because it is a good young squad. They've got a lot of rid of a lot of dead wood, a lot of old players. So now they have a good young fresh squad, hungry, good young signings coming in. So Pochettino's going to get the best out of them, and I feel like they're going to do very well this season. And with no Europe as well, they have no Europe to focus on because they finished so low last season. They have no Europe to distract them from the league, so they can just focus on the Premier League, while other teams like Aston Villa and Brighton and teams like this will have to worry about Europe. That's why I feel like Chelsea is going to finish above them. So yeah, overall, I feel like this is going to be a decent season for Chelsea. Maybe I could see them doing a good cup run as well, like the Carabao Cup. We'll see. But jury's out when it comes to that. But yeah, decent season for Chelsea, I feel like is incoming. 5th place, I have Newcastle, which is one place lower than last season when they ended. They ended 4th last season. I feel like they're going to finish 5th, which is still very good. I feel like it's going to be a very good season for them. Now, the reason why I have them lower is purely because they have Champions League now to contend with. And as good of a squad Newcastle has, in terms of Champions League level squads, they're quite paper thin in depth. So they are going to struggle in the Champions League. And having to juggle the Champions League and the Premier League at the same time, I feel like Newcastle are not ready to be able to deal with that effectively. They'll still do well, but they will struggle at times. But they have made some very good statement signings, like Sandro Tonali. That's a class signing from them. And they've just signed Tino Livramentos, and that's going to be a very good backup right back for Kieran Trippier, and maybe even a long-term replacement once Trippier gets, because Trippier is quite old. I think he's past 30 now. So, and Tino Livramento, he's a good young English right back. So good signings from them. But overall, I feel like there's just going to be a few teams better than them in the league this season. So 5th place is where I have it, but it's still pretty. Starting this season, you need a top 5. It's no longer top 4 against top 5. So they'll still be in Champions League next season if I predict it's going to happen. But yeah, 5th place. 4th, I have Manchester United. What can I say about Manchester United? I feel like transfer-wise, they are doing quite well. Onana is a very good get for them, a big upgrade on De Gea. In terms of a modern-day goalkeeper, which is what Manchester United have needed for years. Like, you think, we've done that. We've brought in Alisson, who is a world-class, probably the best goalkeeper in the world. Best at pretty much everything there is to do. Edison, similar thing. City brought in Edison. Big improvement from how they play because they got a modern goalkeeper who could shot stop as well as distribute the ball. Whereas De Gea, his shot stopping, pretty good. I mean, he kept the most clean sheets last season, so fair play to him. But in terms of a modern day goalkeeper, he was lacking. Like distribution-wise, he's not up to par. So they needed to get rid and bring in a fresh new goalkeeper like Onana, who is going to be able to have modern-day goalkeeper for them and sort of change the way they play in a way that we do and City do. So overall, good business. They also brought in Mason Mount from Chelsea. I feel like he can be a good signing for them. He hasn't hit the ground running yet in preseason, but that's preseason. Some people like to overreact when it comes to preseason, but I feel like Mount is going to be one of those where he might maybe take a little bit of time to really show how good he is in a Manchester United shirt, but I feel like he will come good eventually. And then there's Rasmus Højlund that they signed, the fresh new striker from Juventus. No, he's from Serie A, an Italian club. 9 goals in Serie A last season, which, granted, is not that impressive, but he is young. I feel like Rasmus Højlund is not going to be a striker for Manchester United that's going to be the right hero right now. He's more going to be a long-term project, which is why I question it a little bit, because they spend quite a lot on Højlund. Quite a lot. I think 70 million or something around that. Which is a lot of money for a young striker who is not going to be scoring, 15, 20 Premier League goals. I feel like Højlund is only going to score, I think, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 Premier League goals. If he gets above 10, I'll be very shocked. I'm just going to be straight up honest. I don't think he's going to score more than 10 Premier League goals. And I feel like that's what Manchester United is needing. Overall, they have a good team. As a Liverpool fan, it hurts me to say this, but they do have a good team overall. What they're lacking is a striker that is going to score them 20-plus goals a season. Someone like a Harry Kane, for example, Harry Kane would be the perfect guy. He would be the perfect guy. If they signed Harry Kane from Tottenham, I feel like Manchester United could challenge for the Premier League. Genuinely. But they don't have that. So I feel like 4th place is where they're going to end. Maybe they might win a trophy. They did win a trophy last season, so they could win a trophy this season. But we'll see. 4th place is where I have them finishing, though. 3rd place, Arsenal. Now, Arsenal fans are probably going to be looking at me going how dare you not have a 2nd or 1st place? We just beat Manchester City in the Community Shield. We were very close to winning the Premier League last season. Yes, granted. But the Community Shield curse is a real thing. It's a real thing. We beat Manchester City in the Community Shield last season. What happened? We finished 5th in the league, and Manchester City won the treble. Beating Manchester City in the Community Shield means absolutely fuck all when it comes to the actual season. So, yeah. Arsenal done really well when it comes to transfer business. They brought in Declan Rice, which is very good. Very good signing. Expensive, but very good signing. Kai Havertz is good for squad depth. I don't understand spending that much on Kai Havertz, because in my opinion, Kai Havertz is not that good. Especially at from when you see from what he did at Chelsea. He only had one good moment in a Chelsea shirt, and that was scoring the Champions League winning goal against Manchester City. Apart from that, Kai Havertz didn't really do much at Chelsea. Whether he does more in Arsenal remains to be seen. But yeah, I feel like Arsenal overall are going to have a very good season. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a massive drop-off from what they had last season. It's not going to be a massive drop-off whatsoever. I just feel like a certain other team is going to be better than they were last season, and I feel like they're going to be just above Arsenal. Spoiler alert, it's Liverpool. But yeah, I feel like overall they'll have a very good season, just not as good as the season of last season. But who knows? Maybe they'll finish 3rd and they'll win a trophy. I could see them maybe going for the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, maybe winning one of those. I could see it. Because they do have a very good squad. And they do have a squad that could challenge. It's just, I don't feel like they're there yet. Oh, something switched off. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't feel like they're there yet. Yeah, I don't feel like they're there yet. I feel like City is just too much. 2nd place. As much as I wanted to say that Liverpool's going to win the Premier League, it's not going to happen. Liverpool 2nd place. Manchester City 1st place. That's where I have the last 2. All right. Yeah, Liverpool second place. And a couple of weeks ago, I was riding on the high of I think Liverpool might win the Premier League because I feel like City might have the mindset where they might switch off and not be as hungry as soon as they won the treble last season. But no. The one thing that's stopping me from saying Liverpool might win the Premier League is purely because we don't have a CDM. We don't have a CDM. We sold Fabinho, we sold Joe and Henderson. We haven't replaced them yet. We haven't brought in Romeo Lavia, who we are linked with. We need to get that over the line first. And not only that, we need a left-sided centre back, or just a centre back in general. If we brought in a CDM and we brought in a centre back, then I feel like we can challenge for the league. Because attacking wise, we are disgusting. We are filthy. Going forward wise, we probably have the best attacking depth in the league. And it's probably not even close. Like we have Salah, Nunez, Jota, Gakpo, Diaz. Going forward, we can score goals for fun. But defensively, we are very, very sloppy. We are so open at the back at times due to our high line, and without a proper CDM, it's going to be a case where we may score a lot of goals in games, but we may concede a lot as well. Like, in order to win games, we're pretty much going to have to win like 4-3 on certain games, I feel. So I feel like that's the only thing stopping us from winning the league is our defense. So, yeah. But I do feel like we're going to win the Europa League this season. That is something I will say. We're winning the Europa League this season. So second place, and we're winning the Europa League. Maybe we'll push for the other trophies as well, like FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We'll see. But Europa League, definitely. I feel like we'll definitely win that, and we'll get second place. And first place, Manchester City. Boring, I know, but it's going to happen. It's about as inevitable as anything. Manchester City won the treble last season. It's going to be their fourth Premier League trophy in a row. I know it's boring, but it's inevitable. Erling Haaland is going to be another freak. He's probably going to break the Premier League, not break the Premier League record again for the most goals. I don't think he's going to break his record again. But he's still going to score a lot of goals. He's going to be the top goal scorer. He's going to be ridiculous. City going to be City. Whether there's going to be a challenge, like an actual title race, or whether City are going to have it done early, I don't know. There might be a race. We might put up a fight. Arsenal might put up a fight. I could see it being a 3-horse race. I could see it being a 3-horse race for the title, where it's going to be City, us, Arsenal, a 3-horse race near the end of the season, and then City winning near the end. Or, alternatively, I could see City absolutely dicking the season and having them won the trophy by March. I could see that happening either way. But either way, Manchester City are winning the Premier League, unfortunately, as boring as that seems. That is my Premier League predictions.
You know what? I have one prediction. That's United not winning. All right. So, wrestlers. The last thing I want to talk about on the last one, and I'm glad you gave me a damn break because boy, it feels a whole lot better. Still don't sound better, but it feels better. On the last podcast, we did wrestlers with the most wins. Now it was kind of shady, but was that necessary? Yes, it was. So we're going to do wrestlers with the most losses. And of course, this is a top 15, and this is the last one that I have for a good bit because I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen any more tweets like this. So, wrestlers with the most losses, and you got 15 of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, most losses. All right. One of the first names that pops into my head is Kurt Hawkins, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. No? Okay, no. I just wanted to say it because it's funny.
All time.
Trying to think who's probably lost a lot. Like who's a big name that's probably lost a lot of matches.
Wait a minute. Hey, you cut out on me.
Oh, I'm trying to think of someone who's like, but has lost a lot. Maybe Triple H.
He is one of them.
Ooh,
837 losses.
Shawn Michaels.
Mm-mm.
No, interesting. Um, John Cena. Even though he's won a lot, he's probably lost a lot too. So, no, Super Cena.
No,
God damn you, Super Cena.
nah. John Cena had a run. Boy, he didn't lose a lot.
Uh, Kane.
He's number 2.
Damn, Kane, you've lost a lot, mate.
1,226.
Yeesh. Um. Hmm. Oh, let's see. Um. Chris Jericho.
Yeah, he's 13th with 835. No, I help you out. Zack Ryder's not on this list. Nope.
Edge.
No, you do gotta realize he was out for 9 years. So
Yeah, true. Um. Rey Mysterio. That's definitely one who's lost a lot.
he's not on this list though.
What? Um. Sheamus.
He's number 8 with 876.
Um. Randy Orton.
He's number 5, 1,037.
Fucking hell. God, that's a lot of losses.
You do realize, boy, when he was younger, he took a lot of losses.
True. Uh, hmm. Kofi Kingston?
He's number 9,
Yeah.
6.
Uh, Sorry, God. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted.
No, it's all good.
Eddie Guerrero? No. I'm trying to think of people who have lost like a lot.
I'm really surprised you haven't named 2 people.
Batista?
No,
No.
Curtis Axel. No, Curtis Axel didn't have that much of a career. No offense.
Um, The Undertaker, because he's been around for so long, so surely he's had enough losses. No, God. Yeah. Christian?
Actually, no. I'm surprised, but no.
Wow, that is a shock. The Miz?
Number one.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't responding to Yusuf's message. I kind of like bypassed it. I was like, I'm not going to say anything about the Miz. 1,280 losses.
Boy, God, Miz. Yikes. Um. Hmm. Hmm. How many have I got so far?
7 out of the 15.
Oh, God, still so many. Um. Jeff Hardy.
No. Heath Slater got kids. Oh my God.
Matt Hardy.
He's number 15 on this list. 796.
Hmm. Is there any is there women involved in this as well?
There is one on this list.
One.
It makes sense if you think about it.
Sasha Banks.
No.
Damn. Makes sense. Trying to think who's lost a lot. Like, is there someone who's wrestling now, or a legend wrestling now? Becky Lynch, because she did lose a lot at the start. Bailey.
Mm-mm.
Well, it wouldn't be Charlotte. Surely not. No.
She's won too much.
Natalia.
Yep.
Yeah. Knew it. Um. Who has lost a lot? Well, the thing is, I need to think of people who have lost a lot, but also have a lot of matches.
I am really surprised you haven't named number 4. And I thought number 4 would be either 1 or 2.
Really?
Whenever you guess it right, or if I have to tell you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for a gut feeling here. Actually, no. He probably hasn't had that many matches to really warrant it. But William Regal?
Uh-uh.
No. Hmm. God. Losses is so much more difficult than wins.
Yeah, it is.
Bret Hart?
Nah, that
Fucking hell.
was protected a lot.
Yeah, because I thought because he had the most wins, I thought surely that means he would have lost a lot too. But no, I guess not.
Nope. Nah, he wasn't in the 50-50 booking. Oh, no, no.
No, no, he was not into that at all. Um. Why do I feel like there's an obvious name I'm missing? There probably is.
Yeah, there's one name, I'm telling you, upper 4 and upper 6 as well.
God.
Seeing how tough this is for you makes me want you to find a list with something that I have to do next because I
I
am
may have to.
I am putting you through a hard list, and I want to try it out for myself. The names. I don't know when you left, but he's got the Miz, he's got Kane, he named Orton, Sheamus, Kofi, Natalia, Triple H, Jericho, and Matt Hardy. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left.
God.
And he's pretty much stumped. And he's going to 4 and 6. He's going to be like, man,
I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling. Um. Okay, you really just gave it away there. Big Show. Oh yeah, of course, of
he,
course.
he's number 6. I will not give you that good of a hint for number 4 because I think you should actually name it.
No fucking pressure. Um. I don't know. God. Give me a hint. Give me a hint. Just any hint.
Uh, damn, I can't do an obvious hint, so I'm trying to.
No. Try to think of a one that's quite, won't give it away.
I don't really have a hint of. He still wrestles, but he's not shown a lot.
Interesting. Uh.
Still do it full time. Titus O'Neil, what the hell are
No,
you
no, God, no. He wouldn't have that many matches in
yourself? Oh
general.
my god. I'm mad that I don't know if you were joking around with Titus O'Neil, but something's wrong if you were being serious. Hell no.
Well, yeah, he's lost a lot, but he hasn't had that many matches.
Yeah, that man didn't wrestle that long.
um.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're going to kill me not saying this one at least.
God.
They were, but they were winning. They were winning too. I actually like that tag team of them, but
Is there any more in tag teams?
uh any of them that was in tag teams. Well, technically, hold on. 3 of the 5 remaining have been in tag teams, but I would say 2 of them technically have been in tag teams longer than this one. So 3 of the 5 have, but they've also been singles too. Now,
Okay.
Goldberg ain't gonna be on this list.
No, God, no. Uh, oh, I'm really struggling. This is so difficult.
I want to say Yusuf did mention one of them earlier. I will say that.
Zack Ryder?
Just go down the list. We've already named the Big Show.
Heath Slater?
Heath Slater, baby. He's at number 14 with 805, and he's got kids. Remember that. And
He's got a kid.
Brock don't give a shit about him either.
Nope.
I'll give you a hint with number 7 because number 7
Go on.
he's been at
Go on.
he's been in a tag team, but the last probably 8 years he's been singles all the way.
R-Truth.
No.
Son of a bitch.
He's
I had it.
He's a big time name.
I thought I had it.
This person I'm talking about is a big time name.
Seth?
No.
Well, yeah, I guess no, he wasn't singles all the way because he had a tag team reign with Jason Jordan.
But yeah, the dude's a big time name. I'm gonna check it off because I think
what you're talking about is he still active today?
Yeah, what I'm talking about is very active today.
Very active today. Oh God. God damn. Dolph Ziggler.
Thank God. Oh my God. Now he's not the very active one, but that's the one I was talking about at number 4. Oh my gosh.
How did it take me how did it take me this long to get Dolph?
Oh, I was
Oh my God.
1,187 losses. I don't know how he's not top 2 with losses. I ain't gonna lie.
I forgot that man existed for real. For real.
But number 7 probably got one of the best theme songs. Currently.
Shit. I'm sorry, I'm dry.
This is probably going to be when I get tested eventually, but this.
I'm trying.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I don't want to come on this list, but creation equal about 3,000 losses. Facts. All right, if I don't get it within the next couple of minutes, just put me out of my misery.
Very active today. I mean, on the show every week, got one of the best theme songs. Hell, you sing that Money in the Bank. God.
Cody Rhodes?
Yes.
What?
Yes, Cody. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to get this number 3.
Get it over with and just tell me who it is.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Well, the others?
But he did lose a lot. Okay, there's one more on the list. He's a former world champion, which he shouldn't be, from the big gold belt. And
The Great Khali.
no.
Oh.
But he's about as worse as a champion than the Great Khali was. He's not good. You just gotta imagine who were really not good champions with the big gold.
Alberto Del Rio?
No, but you're getting closer with the people that was there with that. So no, wait a minute.
Wait. Jack Swagger.
Yes,
Son of a bitch.
we the people. Now,
We the people.
now I will.
Oh,
With him with Seb Coulter, I liked what they did, but Jack Swagger, Jack Hager, whatever the hell his name is, never was good to me. So
no.
all right, so this this is by far probably the longest podcast that we've had, but it was a good.
by far.
It was a good one. Del Rio, yeah, what a name. But this was a very good one. We had a lot of wrestling, then we had your predictions that just worked perfectly with everything. And episode 60, hey, we went out with a big bang. My voice held over. Hey, you know. So hope you guys have a great night, day, wherever you may be. And see you guys until next time. Peace out, y'all.
Take care, guys.